It's
Welcome
that
back to the Commanders Declassified Podcast, your home for all things Washington Commanders. We are inching ever closer to WrestleMania. No, wait, sorry. The NFL draft is coming. We are getting closer by the day. Jaden Daniels' pro day is coming up. JJ McCarthy had his pro day. Caleb Williams had his pro day. Drake May's pro day is coming up. It is getting real close. Tonight, we're going to go through a bunch of draft scenarios. We're going to do it the way that you guys like to see it. We're going to share our screen, visualize it with you. You can see the draft picks as they are happening. We're going to give live commentary and feedback on that. Before you get into this, make sure you are subscribed on all platforms: audio, Apple, Amazon, Spotify. We're there. Subscribe on YouTube. We're even in the International Space Station. No, we are not. Thank you for listening to us. We appreciate you. We're going to get started with this draft. I actually have a question while I get this draft set up. Do you guys think what's more likely to happen, that the NFL has another running back like Derrick Henry or CJ2K Chris Johnson? Which of those running back archetypes are more likely to repeat here in the near future? What do you think, guys?
That's a good question. Because we're not just talking about a good running back. We're talking about monsters, 2,000-yard type. Man, that's a good question. I'm sorry, Eric, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I was going to start pontificating with nothing really to say, so I'm glad you did cut me off. It's an interesting question. They're both such like outliers as far as archetype of running back as it is. I think you're more likely to see another Christian McCaffrey type of running back. That's kind of the mold going forward. Derrick Henry is like almost like a dinosaur, that big bruising back that's just punishes people. He's like the next gen Adrian Peterson type, whereas Chris Johnson was almost like a new age, like Eric Dickerson running back, where he was that tall, slender, super fast guy that just churned out yardage because he was physical as all get out as well. He's a weird like anomaly as a running back. You don't see those guys. So if I had to pick between one of those two, there's probably a better chance of a Derrick Henry type. I don't know if we'll ever see another one of either of those guys, though.
I disagree. I think because of the way the game's played and where we're going, like there's more likely to be another track star at running back, because the game is like they just banned the hip drop tackle, so like you're really going to have to like have better technique when tackling, and if a player has a step or two on you, you can't just lunge at them anymore. So I don't know. Like that's a good question. Like I said I disagree. I think both can happen. I just think, like you said, with the game becoming more physical, less physical and whatnot, like I really don't think there'll be another Henry, but who knows? I just love that question though.
Yeah, the league cares about player safety. They don't have a problem adding games to the schedule. They're just going to ban tackling. Amazing. It's a great solution.
Think about this. And I think about the mold of like Derrick Henry. What about like a peak Brandon Jacobs, right, with the Giants? I think that's sort of similar. And then with Chris Johnson, Devon Achane or Achan, whatever he wants to be called in Miami, would be that kind of mold, except for the fact that he can't stay healthy. See, Chris Johnson played the entire season at his size and speed, which is very rare, because usually when you're like extremely fast or like track speed, you're very injury prone, right? That's sort of the magic in Chris Johnson, which you see with Achan. I think if Achan can stay healthy for like 16 games and gets the amount of work that Chris Johnson did, he could be that type. So we might already have one. He just can't do it because of the physical demands, which is what made Chris Johnson the unicorn that he is. All right, let's hop into that draft. And in the comments, let me know what you guys think. You know, if you have an opinion on that, I'd love to hear it, because I think there might be some interesting responses to that.
Chris Johnson is not as big as it. For some reason, I thought Chris Johnson was bigger than he was. I thought he was like 6'2". He was only like 5'10", 5'11". Oh, yeah. Good to know.
That's right. So we are using Pro Football Network's mock draft simulator. We're going to do this 3 times through. Eric is going to be on the clock for us first with the first pick, and then we'll all alternate picks from thereafter. We're going to go with normal speed for the first draft, which I think is going to be a mistake, but we're going to jump right into it. So the Bears are on the clock. They have selected Caleb Williams as expected, Eric. So that means that you, sir, are on the clock. And where should we go with this draft pick?
I think everybody who's been listening and watching knows where I'm going with this draft pick. Right there where the player ratings are, we're going to stick with our board. We're going to take Drake May. In my mind, he's still a better prospect than Jaden Daniels at this point. It's one of those deals where if he's there, that's the guy I want. If the front office and the coaching staff want someone else, then that's on them. And I'm going to go with what they say because they know more than I do. But as far as I'm concerned, you've got the elite size, you've got the elite arm, you've got mobility, you've got all the tools. They just haven't been put together. To me, that presents a higher ceiling than what something like that Jaden Daniels brings you, where he can run all day, but he is not. I think he's got a ceiling on his passing game ability. So I'm rolling with Drake May at number 2.
I like it. We're going to reject all trade offers in this draft. Bo Nix went to the Patriots at pick 34. That's interesting. We also had Keon Coleman, the receiver out of Florida State, going to Buffalo at 28. Jared Verse, the edge from Florida State, going to the Bucks. Some really cool names. The fastest man at the combine going to the Vikings at 23. I think that might be a little high for where I think he might go. JJ McCarthy went to the Vikings at 11. Jaden Daniels lasted to pick 10. Not happening, but he went to the Jets. Brock Bowers went to the Bears. The Bears already have what's his name? The tight end. I don't
Komet.
Komet.
Yeah, Komet. Yeah, come on. This is a weird draft.
That would be nasty though.
It would, but I don't think it. Rome Odunze went before Marvin Harrison Jr. in this draft. Okay. Mike, you're on the board. We already have Drake May. Now at pick 67. I'm sorry, not 67. At pick number 40. Where are we going, man?
Keep going.
36. Please. 36. Where are we going? Who are we taking?
May I see the offensive tackles, please?
You got it, man.
If the board were to break like this, I don't know if they would go tackle right here. Can we please go to the defense and the defensive ends, please?
Edge rushers coming right at you, man.
Edge rushers. Don't think they would go there either. Okay, can we go to all, please, so I can see who's the best available according to PFN?
Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, I would hate for the draft to break like this for Washington. I really would. If this is how the first 35 picks went, honestly, I would probably try to trade back, but we're not trading in this draft. So,
Mr. Peters, we're going to need a pick.
I guess I'm going to have to take the offensive tackle from BYU.
Ooh. Kingsley Samate. You going? Final answer?
Yes, that's my final answer.
Locked it in. Going in with the OT from BYU. Troy Franklin, the receiver out of Oregon, went at pick number 39. That puts me on the board. And I am already going wide receiver. I'm going Xavier Leggett. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm taking him. He's ours. Now, Cooper DeJean went to the Packers, so they're going to have a good cornerback duo there. Kamari Lassiter, the quarterback out of Georgia, also got picked by the Raiders. Cedric Gray, linebacker out of North Carolina, to the Eagles. So this is a very interesting draft, a draft in which we all consider this to be relatively deep. But, man, you start getting past the names you know really quickly in a draft, no matter how deep it is. Eric, you're going to have the next pick here at 67.
All right. You can send Chicago
where are we going?
and Vegas packing. Can you go to all, please?
Yes, sir.
We're picking at 67. So we've already gone tackle, probably guard. And we've gone wide receiver already as well. Michael Penix still sitting out there with his busted knee. This is a tough one. I was really hoping one of you guys would have taken Robinson from Missouri as an edge rusher because I don't love the rest of these edges for a while. We're picking at 67. Man. All right, I'm going to reach because you know who I'm going with here. Let's go with my guy, Will Shipley. He's going to be there. He's not going to be there at our next pick. That's my guy. I like him. I like him a lot. We only got Eckler for a year. We will not be upset with a third down back like Will Shipley. He can ease into it. He can do kick return duties with the new kick return rule that's out. You can do a lot with him. So I'm going to go with my guy Shipley. I can't pass him
I
up.
love it.
We'll take it. I knew you were gonna do it before you said it. I should have just picked him for you.
I wanted to, if one of my, if like Jatavian Sanders was still there, I might have taken him, but I've got my favorites. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
Okay.
The player I would have taken had I been in your shoes was Peyton Wilson, the linebacker out of NC State.
Yeah, I do like him a lot, and he's like a young Bobby Wagner mold. He's just a tackling machine. I do like him a lot, but I can't. I'm committed to my guy, so I got to go with him.
I appreciate that. Junior Colson went to Michigan. He's with the Ravens now, according to this draft, which would just be such a Ravens pick. The rich get richer at the linebacker position. They lost Patrick Queen. Ricky Pearsall out of Florida went to the Raiders at 77. Mike, you're on the clock at 78. What would you like to see here, sir?
Can we go to defense and cornerback, please, or defensive back? Cornerback, please. Okay. Yes, that's who I want. Mike Sandstrill? Can't pronounce his name. I'm so sorry, Mike. As a fellow Mike, what a difficult last name to pronounce. I truly understand. But
out of
that's
Michigan.
the pick we're going to make. Out of
I
Michigan.
love it. Fantastic pick. Yeah.
I really like him. And honestly, at this point, I feel like no matter who Witt and Quentin drafts for the defense at corner, they're going to come in and contribute almost immediately. We saw in Kansas City, when you draft a young secondary, they can compete immediately. It's almost like corners are starting to become like wide receivers when it comes to entering the league, where they have a jump ahead of most positions now because of the way they're taught growing up with these 7-on-7s. These like the game itself is starting to become more open. I'm talking amateur, not NFL, even though it's open to NFL too. But even in the little leagues, like in college, like they're constantly in coverage and on man on these islands. So that's why they're coming into the league more NFL ready than usual. And I feel like Quinn and Witt will very, very seriously take care of the secondary in this draft, and adding a piece like him, pretty good for us.
I like it. So far in the draft, we've addressed quarterback with Drake May. We got an offensive tackle, Kingsley Salamatea at 36 from BYU. We got a wide receiver, Xavier Leggett from South Carolina at 40. Will Shipley, the running back, the do-it-all guy, number 67 out of Clemson. And at 78, we got Mike Sanders still out of Michigan. And at pick 100, we're going to get Jaheim Bell, tight end out of Florida State, who would still be on the board. Yes, I passed up on some higher-rated tight ends. I'm sorry. Forgive me later. I like the athleticism of the Florida State tight end. All right. And let's see what's happened here. So Dwayne Carter, defensive tackle out of Duke. Eric, you'll be on the clock in just a second. Jaden Hicks, safety out of Washington State, has gone to the Eagles. Layden Robinson, offensive guard out of Texas A&M, is going to the Bucks. Kyrie Jackson, oh, that's a good pick, going to the Cardinals. And let's see, round 5 is underway. Yeah, that's a really good pick. Jamari Thrash went to the Cardinals, a wide receiver out of Louisville. Eric, what do you want to see here?
James?
All righty. What are we doing here? So we have, can you go to our picks, please? I just want to make sure I have everything correct.
Sir.
All right. So we've got quarterback, OT, wide receiver, running back. We've got one corner. All right. Show me the linebackers, please. I think my guy might be hanging around there. Tommy Eichenberg sitting right there at 175. It's a little, is he going to be around? I know you guys ain't picking him, but don't pull the trigger just yet. I do like Eichenberg. But let's go back up, go to the all, and we'll just take a look and see if there's anybody I like a little bit better. It may be a little high for Eichenberg, and I can see us getting rid of that. A lot of running backs sitting around there at this time. Some quality tight ends. We just grabbed a tight end. Can you go to corner, please?
You got it.
We do
That's
need
awesome.
some more help at corner. Scroll down just a hair. Now we're in reach territory now. Yeah, we're gonna go with Eichenberg. We go with what we know. We got a nice, solid tackling machine. After passing on linebacker at my last one, I'm going to roll with Eichenberg here. He can learn under the best, under Bobby Wagner, and take over next year. So I feel good about that.
All right. Pick 152 is coming up. And let's see. Mike, where are we going with this pick?
We're going back to the offensive line. And tackles, please. You can go back to the top. I think I saw a name. Yes, Greenfield. Garrett Greenfield. Sneaky athletic, I believe. I only read a little bit about him, and then not even just now, but I remember saying that name and sneaky athletic, but that's all I can give you for what's the 6th round offensive tackle from the mid-major. Yeah, that's all I can give you.
He's a body right now, and we'll see if
Right.
they can develop him, throughout camp and all that stuff. Jonah Ellis, the defensive end or the edge rusher out of Wisconsin, went earlier than that. I think that's a pick I would have seriously considered there too. Let's see. We are coming up on what I believe is our last pick, number 222. So we're going to sit tight for a while as this draft plays out. And at this point, it's our last pick in the draft. We're swinging for the fences here, right? We're not going to play it safe. I'm going to go back to quarterback, and we're going to find us a guy that we can try to develop over time and see what we can get out of this particular player. And you already should know what I'm doing. I'm going with the Maryland product, provided he's still on the board, which I expect he will be. We're going to go with Tua Tagovailoa's brother, Talia Tagovailoa, and he's just going to be an arm. He's going to be an arm on the roster that we'll see if we can develop, maybe turn into a long-term backup quarterback for us. And that is what we're going to do at 222, and I believe
That'll do it.
Our draft. So we're going to let this play out. And as we come to the conclusion of the draft, there's a lot of players that did not get drafted, some surprising names, I think, still on the board. In general, Eric, what are your thoughts with how this draft played out and what was left on the board when your pick came out?
Yeah, well, the top of round 2 sucked, which that was your guys' problem in this draft, so it's okay. There's a couple of guys that I do like, and hopefully we'll come back around to them in the next go round. Overall, I mean, Kingsley Suamataia was the best tackle on the board. This team's going to have to get an offensive tackle in the draft. Hopefully somebody else will be there when they go to pick at 36 or 40. Didn't fall that way this way, so it is what it is. Like I said, there were some options at 67. I reached a little bit on Shipley because he wasn't going to be around at 78, and y'all weren't picking him anyway. Overall, I mean, we did what we could with this draft. We got some solid guys, good athletes, good potential in quite a few guys like Jaheim Bell. There's a lot there to work with. It's just not quite production ready yet, but if good coaching can get that out of him. Tua's brother, he's Tua's brother, so good for him. Grabbing an extra offensive tackle. He always, a late round quarterback is, you can't go wrong grabbing those guys. Usually they're, at worst camp arms, and at best you've got a backup, so it is what it is. Not too bad.
Yep. Mike, what was your favorite pick in the draft that anybody made at the position for which they drafted them?
I like the Xavier Legette pick at 40. Obviously, I like the Drake May pick as well, but those first 3 picks that we made, actually, I kind of hope the team does that, because it would be nice to have a quarterback, offensive tackle, receiver to enter the league together so they can grow together and bond together. And maybe in year 3, we're cooking with something. We got a first, second, and third round pick that we can trust on the offensive side. And yeah, so I would say those 3 as a trio I like.
Yeah, I like 78 and 100. I like Sandra Still and Jaheim Bell. I think those guys are really good gets if you can get them that late in the draft. We'll see how it plays out. We're going to run it back And I tell you what, Mike, you're going to have the first pick. I'm going to have the second pick. And Eric, our friend Eric, is going to have the third pick in the draft. Let me get us back to where we need to be. 7 rounds into the draft. We're going to pick Washington. Mike, you are now on the clock at number 2.
All right, let's see.
And let's see. Bears go Caleb Williams. So they went chalk. What are we doing here, Mike?
So we are going to draft Jaden Daniels.
Let's go.
I like.
Okay, Jaden Daniels are pick at number 2.
I like him just as much as I like May. So I'm gonna go with the mobility. I'm gonna go with the speed and the pizzazz.
So something that was interesting in the first draft, we picked Drake May. Jaden Daniels lasted to number 10. In this draft, we took Jaden Daniels and Drake May went at pick number 3. That's an interesting sort of situation there. Let's see some key picks that have been made. Keon Coleman is going in the first round in every mock that we do. No, he went in the second round last time. Sorry about that. We're going to reject this trade with Buffalo. Get out of here. Bo Nix went to 23 to Minnesota. The tackles that came off the board early, Joe Alt to the Giants. That would be a really good get for them if they are able to pull that off. Fashanu went to the Bears at number 9. McCarthy to the Jets at 10. They are forcing J.J. McCarthy into the top 10. I tell you what, maybe he will actually go there. The Brock Bowers gets to go play with Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis. All right, but that leaves us at pick number 36. We went quarterback. I'm actually going to go edge rusher here because I do think that this is a pretty significant need. Yes, I know we brought some folks in. Yes, I think we still need some help. I'm actually not going to draft Darius Robinson yet, so I lied. I'm going cornerback to see what's here. I like Kamari Lassiter out of Georgia. We're taking him at pick number 36, Kamari Lassiter. And Eric, you're going to be on the clock at pick number 40.
All righty, let's reject these unbelievable trade offers. Let's go with the overall guys here. Let's see what we got. So we've got our edge rusher. We've got our cornerback and our QB. Let's see what we have in all.
You want to see our pick so far? You want me to go to a cornerback?
I need all.
All.
All overall. Okay. Michael Penix still sitting there. There we go. Jordan Morgan. If he's there at 40, I'm snapping that right up. That's a super athletic offensive tackle. He would be in that top 3 tackle conversation. He tore his ACL in 22 at the end of the year, was playing his way back this year. That guy's going to be an elite tackle, and I got no problem taking him at 40.
It's done deal. He's ours now. And Mike, you are back on the clock. We got Cameron Kitchens, the safety out of Florida. Xavier Leggett has just gotten drafted. Michael Penix went to the Raiders in round 2. Roman Wilson, wide receiver out of Michigan, really good prospect, went to the Colts. We're on the clock, sir, at 67. What position you want to see?
Let's go to receiver. Let's see who we have there. You know what? Nah, let's go to all. I was going to say let's do Tez Walker, but nah, let's go to all.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to take Peyton Wilson.
It's a good pick.
Let's go. That's a great pick. Yep. Ben Sinnott went to the Patriots. Junior Colson went to the Cardinals. Bo Braid, safety out of Maryland, went to the Falcons. And we're up at pick number 78. And so far in this draft, we have addressed quarterback with Jaden Daniels, Kamari Lassiter, cornerback out of Georgia, Jordan Morgan, offensive tackle, and linebacker. I think we absolutely need to go back to a position that we are actually pretty comfortable with. And I am, again, going to go back and look at the defensive ends and the edge rushers. And now I think we got to get somebody. I'm going with Marshawn Nealon out of the edge out of Western Michigan. And if you don't know about this guy, he's 6'3", 267, 9.55 RAS score. Athletic as crap. Marshawn Nealon's our pick at 78. Eric, you're up as a draft plays
Here
out.
we go. All right. Oh yeah, we're not. It's not my turn yet. I was all excited for a second there.
Spencer Rattler went 85 to the Browns. Do you guys think Spencer Rattler's going in the third round? I tend to think not. But
I mean, that arm, the arm talent he has, he's got off the chart. I mean, he's $1 million arm, 10-cent head, but the talent is there. Let's go
That's
all,
right.
please. I might get a little crazy here, but oh, look at that guy! You
number
see my
80.
guy sitting there, but you guys are gonna clown me a little bit. Scroll down just a hair, because I don't think I'm gonna pretend like he's not really there. Like Will's not really there. Bucky Irving sitting there. Yeah, Kate Stover. That's my guy. Yeah, my tight end, Kate Stover out of Ohio State. I was misinformed on him. I got some bad intel. He's actually 6'4", so I have no reservations whatsoever about him. I think he's going to be a beast tight end in the NFL. Lots of production at Ohio State. He's a solid blocker on the second level. He's willing to block on the first level, needs some work there. He makes athletic catches. He makes contested catches, runs over people, jumps over people. He's going to be a good tight end in the NFL. So I'm rolling Kate Stover there, and I got no problem doing that.
Jordan Travis from Florida State went in the fourth round in this draft. I got some questions. Holy cow. And he went to the Bears in the fourth round. That makes no sense. All right. Anyway, Mike, you're on the clock, sir. 139.
Can I see our picks again, please?
Yes, sir. Jaden Daniels, Kamari Lassiter, Jordan Morgan, Peyton Wilson, Marshawn Nealon, and Cade Stover.
All right. We are going back to offensive tackle again. I really like Greenville. I'm going to take him again. Oh, wait, whoa. I didn't see that. I'm sorry. I thought we were on pick 152. Can I go back to all, please? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Guess I'll go with the guard from A&M, Layden Robinson.
Sound too excited about that.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Oh,
too late. Turn our card in.
But while we're waiting, can you look at the safeties real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think he was gone. Oh, no, he's not. Okay, go ahead. Oh, man.
All right, so the position that we've neglected so far is wide receiver. I'm going to take a peek over here to see what is left on the board. I like receivers here. I don't think there's any that I'm in love with here at this pick. Now we're at pick 152, so Javon Baker would technically be a bargain here. I'm not doing that though, because I like my receivers to be a little bit more quality than what we're getting there. I'm looking at the running backs. I don't see Blake Corum. I don't see Bucky Irving. I don't see anybody I really like. So we're not going there. I'm going to go look at our, let's see, we just got a guard. I'm looking at our centers here, and I'm going to take the value pick. Tanner Bortolini, out of Wisconsin. You never go wrong getting a lineman out of the Big Ten. He's our guy. We're getting a backup center at that pick. All right. Eric, you are on the clock, and this is our last pick in the draft.
Yep.
I assume a lot of picks have to play out before we get there, but let's let that happen. Kenny Logan Jr., safety out of Kansas, is gone. We got MJ Devonshire, the cornerback out of Pittsburgh, going to the Eagles. A lot of names I don't know going in these late rounds. Man, and then we got Eric Watts, Willie Drew, Jarius Monroe, cornerback out of Tulane. Oh, there's Dallin Holker, our guy. He went to the Bengals, the physical tight end. He got picked up. Trey Taylor, the safety out of Air Force, got drafted. Brennan Jackson, Quentin Newsom, Thomas Harper, Juwan Briggs, and Sam Harton. Who was the guy last year, Eric? Jadakiss? Wasn't there a guy in the draft?
There was a Jadakiss Bonds. Yeah. There was also a Raekwon something. I want to say there were several old school rappers
Definitely
hanging out. All right, here we go. Let me see. Nobody I'm in love
While
with.
you're
This
deciding
is your
picks that we don't have.
Yeah, you're looking for. Could you go to all? We're looking for best player available at this point. We're looking for a good athlete for a special teams position, maybe a backup quarterback. I don't see any of that here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, let's go with Vaki, the safety out of Utah. You get a defensive back. You get somebody to play a little bit of special teams. I got to do some research on him. I don't really recognize most of the guys down at this level.
Let me
I haven't
tell
gotten
you
that
something.
deep. Uh-oh.
Let me tell you something. I was going to draft him with the 4th round pick. But when I said, hold up, wait a minute, and I thought, that's a safety that plays running back, bro. Like, that is a football player. I'm telling you. I was going to take him at the 100th pick in our next draft. Like, that dude, I want him on this team.
He's a football player.
That dude on bro. Sione Vaki. Listen, that dude is a monster.
I'm going to go watch some of him, yeah.
Well, speaking of monsters, let's look at our draft. We got Jaden Daniels, Kamari Lassiter, Jordan Morgan, Peyton Wilson, Marshawn Nealon, Cade Stover, Layden Robinson, Tanner Bortolini, and Sione Vaki. Now, the obvious positions that we didn't get: wide receiver, nowhere in the draft. We did not get a running back in the draft.
Oh, really?
And yeah, no safeties. No, actually, I'm sorry, we got safety with the last pick. Yeah. So I think those are two really big omissions from this draft. Otherwise, if this is our draft and we're walking away from this, it's cool. I like it. I think I was probably more excited about the first draft overall, but this is a really solid draft. Yeah.
I like our first 5 picks in this. No, the first 6 picks in this draft are fire.
Yeah, I like this draft. I like this draft a little better. I like the value that was there at the top of the second round much more than the first draft, where there was very little, not a lot going on as far as what this team would need. This draft to me turned out quite a bit better.
How many day one starters do you see in this draft that we did here?
Man.
5. Well, no.
Yeah, because you can't.
4. I'll give you 4. I'd say Peyton Wilson, but he's probably going to sit behind the 3 linebackers we have. But other than that, I mean, I think 4 of the top 6 probably start day one.
I think 3. I think the corner, Daniels, and Morgan. I think those first 3. I think everybody.
You don't think Stover starts year one?
Not over Ertz. In the beginning of the year, not over Ertz. I don't think so.
Yeah, that's kind of what my thought process was as well. Marshawn Nealon will be a rotation player. I think Kamari Lassiter will be a good rotation player. I don't know that he's a day one starter, but I think he's an early season starter for sure. I think the top 6 get playing time right away, though, for sure.
Yeah.
And that last pick, don't forget about that last pick.
He's going to be wrecking dudes on special teams. Going to be that.
He's going to be. I'm telling you, if he makes this team, he's going to be that preseason player that everybody falls in love with. I promise you.
I can see it for sure. All right, so we're going to restart this draft, and I am on the clock. Let's go, and away we go. All right, we're going to do 7 rounds again. I'm going to take Washington, and I'm going to enter the draft. And to mix things up nicely, Caleb Williams is going number 1 100% of the time. You guys know I'm a Jaden Daniels guy, but I'm an agent of chaos. I'm going to take J.J. McCarthy at number 2 for the Washington Commanders. Drake May goes 3. And that means, Eric, you have the second pick in this draft. That's the whole draft. Jay Daniels went through.
No, it's all good.
JJ,
there's guys on NFL Network saying that now too. I don't see it. Nothing against JJ. Just I think he's one of those guys just getting propped up a little bit. Although he could be like a Baker Mayfield and just like come out of nowhere and go number 1 overall. Who knows? We will have to wait and see.
Look what happened when I take JJ McCarthy first.
Did you see who drafted Penix?
First, second. Look where Michael Penix went in the draft.
That's crazy.
The
29
Lions.
to the Lions, which would be interesting.
Hmm.
That's how much a pick like that could shake up the entire draft, which is crazy. But the Lions took Hendon Hooker last year. In the 4th round, I think it was, maybe. So interesting stuff. So Eric, we're on the clock at 36. We got
scroll
JJ
up
McCarthy
there.
now. What do we do?
Yep. Well, might as well take Bo Nix too, right? Get them both just to be an agent. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. My guy Jordan Morgan's there, but I don't want to be boring and take the same guy. I'll leave it to Mike to take somebody like that. Man, can we look at the corners? Are they all gone? Let's take a look at our defensive backs and see what we have here.
Which one?
Corners.
Corners, gotcha.
Yeah. Lassiter still sitting there. Rakestraw, who I don't love. No, we're gonna skip those guys. Let's look at our edge rushers. I think they're all gone too. Disa Isaac, Chris Braswell. Don't love any of them. Yeah, let's go back to all. Okay.
Mr. Peters, we need your pick.
All right, Graham Barton, offensive guard out of Duke. We're going to go interior offensive line. Barton's a stud. No problem taking him there. He's first round talent. I'm cool with that. We'll forego tackle.
All right. Mike, number 40.
Can we go to the edge, please? We're living on the edge in round 40. Pick 40. I feel like if this is how the board breaks out, you have to take one of these edge players. Give me Braswell, man. I just feel like, based on everything I've seen, he is kind of the safer pick between him and Adiza. So give me Braswell, Roll Tide, and the tradition continues. We can have a forward lineman defensive rotation and call it Crimson Tide. With you put Allen and Braswell on the edge with Payne and Fetherian Mathis, the most forgotten commander in the history of the franchise, in the middle, and let them rock.
Yeah.
Like, I really do forget dudes on the team. That's a
because he hadn't done anything.
second round pick.
I know.
That's an awful second round pick, man. But anyway, I'll take Braswell.
All right, so here's the deal with Braswell, and this is why I didn't pick him in prior drafts that we've done. Lacks the high-end flexibility and fluidity to realistically ever be a consistent double-digit sack guy at the next level, but plays with his pants on fire. And that effort explosive will always find a role. To me, he's a role player, and I don't know what you're going to get out of him other than just consistency. But your pick, your call. I'm not a hater.
For a third, no, that's a second round pick. But in this franchise, we have no right to complain about a consistent second round draft pick. So give me, like I said, he's the safer. Like I could have went with Adiza Isaac, but just for this regime, they might go with the safer pick out instead of the more explosive pick. I think they'll focus on the floors and not ceilings.
All right.
Well, this draft.
I am going to take a look at running backs. I see Will Shipley there. I see Jonathan Brooks there. Let's peek into Jonathan Brooks. He's 6 foot, 216, can accelerate up the seam, utilize second levels, good hips, good vision, which I think is something that we're lacking in the backfield, actually, is good vision. I'm going to look at Shipley. Chisels inside tacklers, uses instincts, versatile pass catcher. We kind of got Eckler already. I like the call. My favorite running back possibly is Blake Corum, and I'm going to take Blake Corum. I'm way overdrafting him, but I love the way he runs. I think he complements Eckler well. Yes, we have Robinson. I'm going Blake Corum at 67. It's a reach. It's my draft. You leave me alone. Eric, you are on the clock. Johnny Wilson out of Florida State went to the Lions. Junior Colson, linebacker out of Michigan, went to the Raiders, and we are up at 78.
All right. I might look for my tackle here. So if we go offensive tackle, there's a guy I really like. Yes, he's right there. Kieran Amegadaji, I believe I can't pronounce his last name, out of Yale University. Got a little bit of an injury, so he hasn't been a big deal right now, but he's a super, super athletic and nasty blocker with a ton of potential, just not quite refined yet, but he is an elite athlete, and he is going to be good at the next level with the right coaching, which I think this team can provide. So that will be my pick at 78. A little bit of a reach, but I like him, and let's roll with that.
Will Shipley went to the Ravens, and we're going to reject this trade offer from the Giants. You go away. Mike, pick number 100. What are we doing?
Can we go to defense and cornerbacks, please? Yes. Oh, let me make sure I don't want to draft anyone else. But yes, I'm going to take the young man from the West Coast, Kyrie Jackson, cornerback from Oregon. Again,
Ooh.
I really don't. Whoever they draft at this position in the secondary, they're going to come in and they're going to produce. It's not necessarily because I trust the players as much as I trust Witt and Quinn, because they have proven throughout their careers that they can take talented players and cook with them. It's that simple. So whatever cornerback they pick, this ain't going to be like last year where we all got mad because they picked Forbes over Gonzalez. No matter who they pick, they're going to cook. Let them cook.
That's right. Let's see. We are at 139. I am taking a look at these cornerbacks on here. I'm going to say no thanks. I am going to go to the offense side of the ball. I see Bucky Irving still there. I'm not going to draft 2 running backs, no matter how much I like the running back position. I see Joe Milton here, a quarterback from Tennessee, a rocket arm. I'm not going to do that to J.J. McCarthy, because that would be the reverse RG3 and Kirk Cousins situations, and I am not down with that. We have not yet attacked the receiver position, which I'm going to go and take Javon Baker or Jacob Cowan. I'm not ready to commit to that yet, actually, guys. I'm going to go defense. We still have not solved for who was our edge rusher?
No linebackers yet.
Chris Braswell. I'm going to take another. No linebackers. Yeah, but I'm going to go Jonah Ellis. That's my guy. He was my pre-draft guy. He's coming. All right, we got another end, Jonah Ellis. And now we have pick 152. And Eric, that is your pick.
Okay, let's go over to let's take a look at let's look at all first. Okay. Look at that running back number 117 just hanging out there. Lots of running backs just chilling. I don't like any of these guys. Let's go. Can we look at tight ends, please?
I'm there.
I love my tight ends. All right. Yeah, we're picking at 159. We don't have another pick till 222. Number 172 there, Eric All from Iowa. I'm from the school of thought that if you see a tight end from Iowa, you draft a tight end from Iowa, especially if you've got a late round pick. Just the track record of Iowa tight ends in the NFL is pretty daggone good. And Eric All, I don't think he's going to be on the level of those guys, but you cannot go wrong with a tight end from Iowa. You'll at least get some kind of production because those guys know how to coach him up there. They know how to produce those guys. I guess you could say those guys come out knowing how to play. He's a big, strong, 250-pound, 6'4" guy. Not the fastest guy, but tight ends generally are, and he will outmuscle any defensive back that tries to cover him, but he's probably not running away from anybody. Solid route runner, solid blocker, decent tight end overall. I think there's a lot to work with. And again, Iowa tight ends in the NFL, they just work. So let's do that. Eric All.
Done. He is there. And Mike, finish us up. 222. We got a little while before that pick comes around. Our draft so far, J.J. McCarthy, Graham Barton, Chris Braswell, Blake Corum, Kieran Amadiji. Eric always picks these names we can't pronounce. Kyrie Jackson, Jonah Ellis, and Eric All are our picks so far. So
we got the 2 tight ends.
We got the one. Yeah, we just got the one.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we got about
Can we
40
go to
picks left.
quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're messing with JJ.
Okay.
Now I know you're probably looking at Sam Hartman.
Oh, he may
say,
be
Mike?
gone already. I was looking for Michael Pratt. I think he gone already. Yeah, he's definitely gone. I doubt. I know PFN is trash, but I doubt they ranked him in the 500s. All right, let's go to wide receiver. We haven't drafted any. I'm looking for someone from LSU or something. No, I don't recognize any of these Bamas.
Oh, I see one. But these were the 350s. Holy crap.
Yeah. All right, so let's just go back to hey, did it stop? Why did it stop?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Resume draft right there in the middle of the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Click resume
Down.
right a little bit lower. There you go.
All right. Let's go to all in this mock.
Some value picks here, man.
Here's your boy Holker.
Yeah, I was about to say let's. I may have just spoken it into existence. Let's double it up on the tight end, man. Get another one in here. Get Cole Turner out of here, man. Nah, man. He been faking. It's time to go.
And that's it. That's the end of our draft there. Let's review these picks in here.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this draft. I think this might be the best one out of the three. I don't know. The second one was kind of tough. We might need a vote on this one, y'all. Which out of the three, which one are you feeling the most? The second one before I see the third. All right, let's see. Oh, well, I forgot. We drafted McCarthy first.
Yeah, I kind of hate this draft.
Whole draft away.
Yeah. I shook up the whole draft with that one pick, man. Well, same question though. How many starters did we get out of this draft? Looking at this list here.
Realistic. Barton. A good draft. It's a good draft. This is a good draft.
Kieran Amedaji is a little bit of he's a starter later on. Most of these guys aren't probably day one starters outside of McCarthy. He probably would. Graham Barton would.
McCarthy, Barton.
Yeah.
I think Corum could start. I think he's skilled enough to start at running back. Now, I know you folks in the comment section, yes, Brian Robinson. I'm just saying he has talent. That's all. So but I think realistically, too.
No, I was going to say there's a trend with our drafts that I don't know if the team is going to follow. In 2 of the 3 drafts, we did not draft a wide receiver. So I would say, I'll ask you all this question. If you know the team is going to, we don't know, but let's say, huh? No, I was saying wide receiver. If you know,
no, you're right. Keep going.
If you know the team is going to draft a wide receiver, which round, based on what we know about the mocks that we've seen, the mocks we just done, which round would you target a receiver, knowing that they will probably draft one? Would you do it earlier or later in the draft?
Day 2. I do it in round 3 probably. I'd start looking receiver with that second round pick and then that 3rd round pick, and then look to move around. There's a lot of really good receivers. We kind of glossed over guys like Tez Walker. We picked Leggett once. There's some really talented wide receivers that are going to go in the mid rounds. Yeah, I don't love Tez Walker. He's kind of a repeat of what this team already has. So I'd like to get something a little different, but the talent's there for sure. There's a ton of good wide receivers in there. Nobody even brought up Luke McCaffrey. I don't blame you, but still, it's a name.
I almost picked him. I had one of those chances. I was like, I'm only doing it for name value, and I didn't do it. So, which favorite or which draft was your favorite, Mike? Number 2?
Yeah, that second draft was it's kind of crazy starting with, and I'm not saying it because I started off with the Jaden Daniels pick. I just feel like each of those first, I can't remember all of them, but I know the first 6 picks were crazy. We pretty much addressed everything but wide receiver. Um, yeah, and I know we drafted him in the 7th round. He's not making it to the 7th round. I'm really serious about Vaki. Like that, look at his tape, look at his highlights, not just at safety, but the running back. I'm telling y'all, this dude, if he gets here, if they draft him, you'll see. I'm not making this up, but we will see about him if he comes here. But I don't know, good stuff like that doesn't happen to us.
No, that'd be a great pick. Eric, which one was most realistic to you, do you think, of the 3 drafts that we did?
Yeah, I think maybe a combination of the first and second. It just depends. The way the second round in the first draft we did shook out just badly for this team. But I mean, it's not unrealistic. But just like the fact that nobody fell to the second round was a little hard to take. But you know, it possibly could shake out that way. I think Mike is right. The second draft looked really great. Again, I would have gone with May, but you guys like Daniels, and if they pick Daniels, I'm cool with it. They know what they're doing. But I think that second draft, just the talent, again, tooting my own horn, the Cade Stover pick. If this team takes Cade Stover, y'all going to love him. I promise you. But, you know, it is what it is. I like probably the second draft is the most realistic, the most hopeful. It gives me the most hope for sure.
All right, let's close it out with this question. Give me 2 players. No, give me 3 players that you drafted from any of the drafts that you feel like we cannot leave the draft without. Mike, I'm going to start with you.
Well, I didn't draft him, but I already told you about Vaki. No need to elaborate on him anymore. The other 2, Peyton Willis. My goodness. Peyton Wilson. You get another linebacker. You may not keep Jamin Davis next season. His option is running out. I mean, his option is due, and they even mentioned during their press conferences, like, we don't know pretty much. So if you draft a linebacker, you don't necessarily have to bring Davis back if he doesn't perform well this upcoming season. And the third pick, I like all the cornerback. I love all the cornerbacks that we drafted, and I'm gonna say it again. It's not necessarily because of them, but I really feel like this coaching staff, especially defensively, they will get the best out of their players. We will not have to go through undisciplined, unorganized, inconsistent defense. They will be what they are, whether it's that middle of the pack or upper echelon. The defense will be fine with any other secondary players they draft in this draft. I promise you.
I can dig it. Eric, 3 players from any of the drafts that you feel like we cannot leave the draft without.
Yeah, I've already said I like Cade Stover. He's one of my favorite players in the draft, especially in around that pick 100 range. If he's there, you got to grab him. I love Jordan Morgan in the second round. If he's going to be there, I don't know that he makes it that far, but if he does, I'd love Jordan Morgan with one of those 2 second-round picks. And Xavier Legette, he really just brings something different to the receiving core, and just a super, super freak athlete with size, speed, and he can move. He can change direction. He can really do it all. Great hands. Again, if he's one of those second-round picks, I'm not going to be mad at all.
Yeah, no, I love all those picks. I think for me, Jonah Ellis, especially if he's there like in the 6th round, I think you got to get that guy and give him to our D-line staff and let them coach him up and see what you can get out of him. I like I love Dallin Holker. I think he just has such a bright future in the NFL. Is he a tight end 1 ever? I don't know, but I think he's something that we've needed for a long time. That's depth at the tight end position, and he's kind of just a nasty player. I like that. And then I think we took a lot of different variations of running backs. I like Blake Corum, but I don't know if they're actually like gonna do something like that because we do have Brian Robinson and Eckler and a couple other guys running the roster. But man, if we could pull that off, that would be amazing. I think I'm just going to say Jaden Daniels at quarterback. It's kind of the obvious choice. JJ McCarthy, I'm a Michigan fan. I love JJ McCarthy. I don't know if I want to see him drafted at 3. And if we take JJ McCarthy, I would like to see us trade back a few spots and then get him just from the value perspective. But I think I like Jaden Daniels. What do you guys, real quick, think about the McCarthy news? Smoke and mirrors? Is there any truth to it, do you guys think? Or do you guys think it's just lion season and it's not to be believed?
So from what I heard, it's not even news. Like Pelissaro said that he talked to people that that knows Peters, and they said McCarthy feels like a Peters guy. But he never said that Washington was even considering him at 2. He was just relaying the story. So I really I'm so confused.
No. He did a hit on NFL Network where he said, from all the people that he's talking to, most of them are saying McCarthy at 2 for the Commanders. I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he said.
Oh, because that's not what he said on the NFL Insider show. He said that he talked to people that knows him. But nevertheless, like, I don't know where all this talk comes from or it's coming from. Like, maybe it is his agent that's just, like, getting everybody to sweet talk him or something. Because, like, he's no different than the quarterbacks from last year, in my opinion. Well, is it last year? No, the year before last, the Sam Howell draft. Like, those quarterbacks would seem more like on a JJ McCarthy field. Like, I really don't understand why he's even in the same realm as May, Daniels, and Williams, especially Williams. Like, saying that he's the second pick after Williams is crazy. But nevertheless, I don't know. Like I don't mind them. Like, I wouldn't mind taking them. It's just at 2 would be ridiculous.
So here's the exact quote from Pelissaro. When I've had conversations here with executives from other teams who know Adam Peters well, who know the situation well, the most popular answer for what they do at number 2 is JJ McCarthy. So that leaves a lot for interpretation there.
Yeah, it's kind of a mix with what we were saying.
Yeah, and ultimately what I think it is I think folks know how Brock Purdy turned out for them, and I think they're saying, "Oh, Adam Peters might be looking for his next Brock Purdy," and JJ McCarthy's sort of in that mold. I don't read too much in that. Eric, what do you think?
It's lying season. We're right in the middle of it. The truth is, this group is this coaching, the front office, coaching staff, everything is extremely tight-lipped. You don't know who's doing what. So anybody who says they have information is probably lying to you. You can, guys get a feel for how guys think. Sure, then maybe you could do that. But, they haven't even been to all the pro days. They haven't visited. So we don't know what they're going to do at number 2. Is JJ McCarthy shooting up draft boards? Maybe, but I don't think he's going to get all the way to number 2. The only time JJ McCarthy would come in the mix in my mind for Washington would be if somebody wowed him with an offer and they moved back from 2. Like if Minnesota gave them the 2 picks they just picked up and then some more stuff. Maybe you take JJ McCarthy at 11 or even 23. That's the only way I can think of it. I don't see JJ McCarthy cracking the top 3, top 5 quarterbacks. And I know Jim Harbaugh has been talking up McCarthy quite a bit as well. Obviously, his coach at Michigan wants to do right by him, but if he loves him that much, you know what? We'll trade you number 2 for Justin Herbert, and you can draft JJ McCarthy. How about that? Put your money where your mouth is, Jim, if you love JJ that much. I don't see it, though. Maybe if they move back, that's all I can see. I think it's either May or Daniels at number 2.
Yeah, we kind of saw this last year. Remember when it was Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and at the last minute, it was like, well, Anthony Richardson can go number 1 overall, and Will Levis is going to go number 2, and that never happened. Richardson went number 4. Will Levis went where did Will Levis go?
He went first pick of the second round. He was in the second round somewhere. He didn't even get picked in round 1.
Exactly.
So what's that, pick 32?
33. 33 he went. Yeah.
So second pick in the second round, because Miami had forfeited their pick last year.
Yep.
So it's
So
only 31.
you just don't know this time of year, but I don't see it. I think it'll be Daniels or it'll be May. I think it'll be Daniels. I think the Commanders do know what they're going to do, but they're going to the pro days to affirm what they already know or find a hole in what they think they know at this point in time. I still feel 95% sure that it's going to be Jaden Daniels. I think he's in a separate tier than Drake May personally, but we'll see as this draft process plays out. All right. Thanks for catching us this time on our episode. We'll be back next week with more fun for you guys. Let us know in the comments who you will pick, what you loved about our picks, and who you hated about our picks. And we'll catch you on the flip side, Commanders Declassified fans and listeners. We appreciate you as always. Like, comment, subscribe. We are out of here.